to Intermediate Level English Language Arts. Hi guys, and welcome to English Language Arts Grade 6. Our topic today would be about recognizing and using reflexive and intensive pronouns, right? So, to begin, let's try to understand what are reflexive and intensive pronouns. So, reflexive and intensive pronouns, these are basically what you call compound personal pronouns, right? So, compound personal pronouns, guys, are pronouns or personal pronouns with the suffix self or selves, okay? Now, there are two kinds of compound personal pronouns. There are reflexive pronouns and there are intensive pronouns, okay? Now, reflexive pronouns, guys, these are compound personal pronouns used like nouns, usually taking the role of the objects in a sentence. So, basically, class, reflexive pronouns, these are basically used like nouns. So, they usually take the roles of either direct objects, indirect objects, or objects of the prepositions, right? Next, intensive pronouns, on the other hand, these are compound personal pronouns used to give emphasis to a noun. So they come after the noun and they just give emphasis to the noun. They just emphasize the noun. Okay? By the way, these are all found in your books, pages 137 to 138. Now let's get a much clearer detail on the reflexive and intensive pronouns. Okay? Starting with reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns, guys, you can divide them into three different points of views. Okay? The first person, second person, and third person. And you could divide them into two different forms, singular and plural forms, okay? So for singular reflexive pronouns, singular first person, you have myself, and for plural, we have ourselves, okay? For singular second person, we have yourself, and for plural second person, it's yourselves, right? Next, for the third person, singular, we have himself, herself, and itself, okay? And for plural, we have themselves. Take note, these are the only ones, okay? There are no others, like for example, his self, or for example, their selves. There's no such thing, right? Okay, so here are some examples on how to use reflexive pronouns. So in this example, we have the first one. Trinidad Texon dressed herself as a man. Okay, your verb is dressed. Okay, dressed whom? Herself. Okay, and this is used as a direct object. Okay, next, they found themselves in the care of some kind relatives. Again, found whom? It's themselves. Therefore, it's used as a direct object. The third one, he did the project by himself. It is used as an object of the preposition because of the preposition by. Okay, by whom? Himself. Okay. Now, these are reflexive pronouns. They play a vital role. They play a part in the sentence. What about intensive pronouns? For intensive pronouns, class, the compound personal pronouns are still the same. Okay, but it's how you use them that's different. For intensive pronouns, they are just used to give addition, or they're just used to give emphasis to the noun before them. First example, I myself have learned that heroism is in the heart. Okay, the myself there is just referring to, or is just telling that it's no one else other than just I. Okay, the next one, you can be a hero yourself too. Again, here it doesn't play any role, rather than just saying that no one else can be your hero than you. Okay. So here, intensive pronouns, these are just basically there to give emphasis to the noun before them. They could be either placed right after the noun that they give emphasis to, or they could be placed at the end of the sentence, right? Just like the second example. Now, how do you differentiate reflexive and intensive pronouns? Okay, for intensive pronouns, class, these pronouns are, when you remove them in a sentence, okay, it would still make sense. The sentence would still stand. Example, I have learned that heroism is in the heart. I removed myself there. It's just like that. I have learned that heroism is in the heart. It makes sense. It stands. Next one. You can be a hero. You can be a hero too. Okay. Remove yourself. It still stands. But for example, for the reflexive pronouns, right? When you remove them, they would not make sense, or it would not be complete anymore. The first example, although in the first example, see, we have a very unique verb there for the first example, dressed. Dressed here could either be what you call a transitive or intransitive verb. So if we remove herself there, it still would stand because of the verb. Okay, so Trinidad dressed as a man. Okay, but let's go to the second one, right? The exact second example would be best, right? So for the second example, they found themselves in the care of some kind relatives. When we remove themselves, it would be they found in the care of some kind relatives. Doesn't stand. The next one, he did the project by. Okay, So here, class, are different ways for you to find out whether a pronoun is reflexive or intensive. Remove them. If the sentence stands, it's intensive. It doesn't, then it's reflexive. Look at it. Make sure that it's not working like a noun. It's not working like an object. If it works like an object, if it's used like an object, then it's a reflexive pronoun. And that ends our class for reflexive and intensive pronouns.